Hi guys, this is the Double Pivot podcast with your host Rayan Ahmed, and since this is the season 1, episode 1 basically, and I'm joined with Mr. Aftab Alam Khan, who is a diehard Manchester City fan, and I'm joined with seasoned veteran Mustafa Ismail, host of Chasing Green Arrows, and as you can see from his jersey, he's a Manchester United fan. So guys, how are you? Everyone, all good?
Doing well, man. Thank you so much for having me today.
All good, bro. All good.
And now let's start off with. I'll start off with you, Mustafa bhai. And this podcast is basically a Manchester City / Manchester United. Let's just name it the Manchester Derby podcast, okay? So this is basically episode 1 is the Manchester Derby episode. Basically, I'm going to ask first is a little overview before I go into the new season. I'm going to ask you a small overview of the previous season. Basically, the run-ins. I'm going to start off with you, Mustafa bhai. What did you see in your team in the last few games that makes you a little optimistic about the upcoming season?
I mean, especially after the lockdown, I think United went on a really good run of games. Yes, there were fixtures that you expect a team like Manchester United to win, but in the first half of the season, they lost those reverse fixtures. Like they lost to Burnley, they struggled against Crystal Palace, they struggled against these teams. So I think that run-in, winning a game at a stretch, I think that gave me a lot of confidence as a fan. Bruno Fernandes was playing well, gelling with Pogba, and then the likes of Martial scoring, Greenwood scoring those goals. I think that was very impressive. But I think towards the end, there was a lot of fatigue. So what made me worry was there's no squad depth because the bench players weren't as good as the starting 11 is solid. But then once they start getting tired and start getting injured, then you have an issue. And we saw that going into the FA Cup. We saw that in the last couple of games. They drew to Southampton as well. Yes. Luckily, they played well against Leicester and got the top 4. So I think, the season expectations was to get top 4. A trophy would have been ideal, but I think it was a decent season. But I was gutted after the Europa League semi-final. But I think the biggest takeaway was that you need squad depth.
Yes. And just to add to that, anything about the manager that you would want him to change or anything?
100%. I'm one of those fans who I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but as a manager, I don't rate him as highly as other Man United fans. I think tactically, he's a bit weak. Like he needs to improve on that. If you saw in the FA Cup as well, or even in the Europa League, Europa League semi-final, he made his first tactical change in the 80th minute. You saw Bruno was exhausted, Pogba was exhausted. So you need to try to do something differently as a manager. Exactly. I think he's really good at getting the morale up. If you see the United style of play now compared to the Mourinho time, it's much better. Sure. But at the same time, there is a lot of tactical improvement that needs to be done.
So that's basically, you just summed up the entire Manchester United run-in. And moving on to Aftab, similar question to you. How do you describe City's end to the season?
Yeah, the overall season, I wouldn't be really disappointed in Man City because we've scored the most number of goals in the league. And, our only problem, which is really, bothered me is our defense. We hadn't had a proper stabilized defense. And,
you haven't been able to settle on a backline.
We haven't been able to, stabilize and settle on a good defense. And, every time we conceded we've conceded some really, unforced errors. Unforced errors, and we've conceded very crucial goals. And before the lockdown, we've United outplayed us and we lost that. And then after the whole COVID thing, we came back and beat Arsenal 3-0. And I was really happy about...
After the whole COVID thing, your team looked like the Manchester City of 17-18. They were just gelling. It was like 5 goals a match.
Yeah, we won. We won 7 out of 9 matches, if I'm not wrong, and we did really well after the lockdown. Unfortunately, we lost to Arsenal in the semi-final of the FA Cup. And even the Champions League, like I was really impressed with their performance against Real Madrid. But again, when they faced
the Lyon game,
you've seen the defensive errors.
Yes.
You can't do anything there. You need need
Agreed.
something stable there, and
Agreed.
that's
Agreed.
one thing. That's one thing, I really want City to change this season.
Okay.
So that's my overall view.
I'd like
Next.
one quick question for Aftab, if you don't.
No problem. Please
Yes,
carry
yes.
on. Carry on.
Sure.
So basically, like, Man City, like they're a unique team. They have so much possession of the ball, right? They dominate the game. Like, I think 90% of the games they have possession. So how does it feel as a fan? Like, you have the ball in the opponent's box for like 90% of the game, and then suddenly there's a goal at the other end. Like, how frustrating is it in that manner? Because they're dominating. It's like they're gonna score. Then you see Raheem Sterling missing a chance here and there. But like, how frustrating!
Especially in that.
Like,
Alright.
and then as well, they were killing it. Like, the second half they were dominating.
Yeah. I'll tell you how that feels. See, Pep Guardiola, you've seen time and again, like, his teams have that flow, have that play, they play like that. They have the position all the time. But if you've noticed, like, Man City, whenever they're trailing, they have the ball still with them, and they're not able to do anything with it. They're not able to find that momentum. So City is the type of team which, when they start the match with that momentum, that possession pays off. Like, they're clinical and they're ruthless in the final third. But when they don't find the final ball and they're not able to finish, that really backfires. Over there, you need some sort of an X factor. You need that risk taking. You need those long balls. You need to depend on your strikers. And I feel that City haven't been able to do that. They've been overplaying the ball around the midfield and in the corners. And like, and if I had to point out one player who really complicates situations, it's going to be Raheem Sterling. When the momentum is on, he's one of the best players on the pitch.
Exactly.
And when it's not going for the team, I think players like him really complicate the situations in the corners and in the wings.
Yeah. So that was a very good point you mentioned.
Yeah.
And now both of you guys, I'd just like to briefly ask you, as on a footballing perspective, what would you like to see from your teams in the upcoming season? Basically, the style, maybe, and I would say any kind of what mistakes would you like to eliminate from your teams? Basically, a footballing perspective. What are your expectations, Mustafa bhai?
First, I would like some signings. I think that's like the most important thing.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, and like selling a few players, but yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, apart from that, I think in terms of style, yeah, you want to play some attacking football. I think United, like, I didn't mind that counter-attacking style they played against City, against big teams. When you counter-attack, I don't mind that. Like, even though that's not the United way, but I think that wasn't bad. But I think against smaller teams, I would like to see them take more chances. Like, I think with Bruno, you'll see more killer balls. Like in the first half of last season, we didn't have that. We didn't have that Bruno effect, right? Those like unlocking defenses. So I think we'll see more of that going into this season. And then with Van der Beek as backup as well, I think it'll help the creativity. So yeah, I would like to see more creativity. I would like to see some more goals from Rashford, Martial. I want to see them.
I would like to ask you a question. Where do you see going forward with your left back? Do you see Shaw, or do you want any other additions in that left back spot? It's been disputed a lot.
Yeah, so I think Luke Shaw is a really good left back, but he's too injury prone, and you can't afford that. Like, the reason we lost the
he's got a lot of fitness issues as well.
Yeah, so the reason I think we lost the semi-final was that we didn't have a left back. I mean, Brandon Williams is a young kid. We needed somebody solid there. So I think he has fitness issues. So I would rather get like a guy who's regularly fit and can play day in and day out. Because if you notice, look at Liverpool, look at City, look at Bayern. What's their main thing? It's fullbacks, right and left. They just go banging forward, and they create those chances for the team. So I think it's a very important position. I don't mind Luke Shaw, but the problem is not fit.
And happy with AWB, Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right hand side, basically as an attacking fullback.
So it's two tails for him. Attackingly, no, he's not the greatest.
Yes.
Defensively, he is one of the best. So I think that's the problem. If he can improve in the attacking game,
Yeah.
I think it will help United a lot. I don't know how he's going to do that, but it's going to be a key aspect to his game. In terms of defensively, I'm really happy. You saw what he did against City, against Chelsea. Played pretty well. Attackingly, there were a few glimpses, but yes, he needs to be more consistent going
And
forward.
After, what would you like to see more from a Guardiola side? Although you probably have everything that you want, but this season, upcoming expectations
So
from
this season, I want. So listen. So attacking wise, I wouldn't want much to change. We're doing fine with scoring goals, and obviously, I want to see changes in defense. And as Mustafa Bhai said, fullbacks are really important in the game, right? So we already
the
have
left back
Kyle.
spot for you. After almost spending 150 million
See,
one position, you guys still haven't been able to fix it up. So I would want your opinion
see,
on.
yeah, I was coming to that point, so I'll still come to that point. But first, I want to say that that on the right side, our right back, Kyle Walker, he's dominating. He's been a brutal machine for us. He has this burst. He goes forward. He asks to attack. He comes back. He's strong. And then we're just spoiled for choice with Cancelo. He's such a versatile player. He can play right back,
For
and
sure, for sure.
he can play like at that right side, like the whole of the right side. He's too good. And coming to the left back, being a shaky there, and Benj Mendy has made few crucial errors, but
As a
Benj
neutral
Mendy,
watching Manchester City, uh, I, I I don't want to say this. I may sound a bit biased, but I think he's one of the most brain dead. As in, he doesn't think when he plays. He can
yeah,
on the pitch.
you know, no, I would respectfully like disagree with you because a couple of seasons ago, if you remember, Benj Mendy was rated really really high for his
At Monaco. At
physical
Monaco.
play, physical physical play, and the burst forward, and he really added to the attack. And then he got injured, and then he came back, and then he made some blunders. But I expect, like I have this feeling that this season he's gonna come back stronger. Other than that, we have Zinchenko, who really can't put the final ball in, and defensively too, he's not what I would want from
And
a left back. So,
hopefully you
and
expect
hopefully Benj Mendy is gonna
exactly.
make a comeback this season.
Yes. And you must be expecting a lot of Foden also this season, upcoming season.
Yeah.
As a neutral, I
Well,
would like to see him play more.
see, Phil Foden is our replacement for David Silva, and
Big claim.
I'm saying that
You gotta live up to that level.
I might be, yeah, I might be like, I might be like calling it too early, but he's a natural. I would like to see him play like full games, and I'd like to see him perform like he was after the lockdown. He's been a crucial part of the team. He's been a crucial part of the defense after David Silva. So I would love to see him play. But again, we have a lot of options there too. So we never know what's going on.
One thing you'll get with Man City is squad depth. That is unlimited squad depth. You have three players in each position.
I think that's our main strength right now.
Coming back to United for a second, I think that's where United will have to strengthen in the market. That is adding to that squad depth with quality, not Dan James, basically. You need quality squad depth to compete for the big ones, big trophies. And just going back to Man City, just one last point. Messi, no Messi is going to hurt. Is going to be a stinger.
See, I wasn't expecting Messi to come firstly, and it wasn't. I don't think that. I'm not saying that player like Messi is something which is it's not a good thing which is gonna happen. It's obviously a very great thing to happen to a team, but like to meet his expectations, we'd lose players like Bernardo Silva and Riyad Mahrez.
Exactly.
And I don't think that's gonna be that would be worth it, because if you have a player like Messi or if you have a player like Ronaldo, your plays and your tactics are based around this player
Around them.
and
Good point. Really good point.
around them, and the team gets dependent on them. And and if they don't perform, it impacts the entire team. And after these players leave,
You get that
the
reliance
team's
on
in
one player
shambles.
type culture into the side.
Exactly. Yeah, you have that cushion.
Good point.
Barcelona had that cushion all these years, and
Good
now
point.
when even in a single match Messi is not performing, what they go through. They're in a shambles.
Can I just give my opinion on
please.
that?
I was just asking you any questions.
Yeah, sure.
No, in my opinion,
Yeah.
as a United fan, I think that if Messi went to City, it's game over. I agree with Aftab, the game revolves around and everything, but you also have to understand that Pep Guardiola is the manager. He's managed him in that great Barcelona team, where there's Xavi and there was David Villa. They played as a team. Yes, Messi was the main guy. They played as a team, and I think with this City team, I think Messi would have been that missing link. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, in my opinion, he would have played a similar false nine role that he played when he was at Barca under Guardiola. He probably, just because of Aguero's fitness issues, Pep might have dropped him. But I could see him clearly. I could see clearly where Pep would have played him if Messi had come to Manchester.
Bro, and the link he would have with De Bruyne would be unfair.
Oh, I was really scared. I was really scared.
Yeah, I agree with him. I agree in the sense that he might, there is a tendency and you might lose other 2-3 players. But if he was there, I think Guardiola would make it work. And Messi still has 3-4 years in him. And I think this season, they would have taken it away easily.
Now, let's move on to the next point. So, Mustafa bhai, another question for you, and similar to you, after we'll come back to you later. Now, who do you think this season is going to be the most impactful player at your club, Mustafa bhai? Who do you think is going to have the most impact? And I'm saying current players, the new signings, potential new signings, let's come back to it at a later time. But currently, who's going to be who do you think is going to be the most impactful player?
Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno Fernandes, because what he did, I think it was incredible what he did this season. He came in January, United were 8th, 9th. At one point, they were 10th or 11th as well. And then he came and turned it around against the smaller teams. He was getting those killer passes against the likes of Chelsea and City. There was a lot of creativity. That free kick against City in the derby, what he did to he dinked
the quick thinking, the chip over the wall.
Yeah, that's just and executing that.
Exactly. I think and another thing about Bruno Fernandes that I like is he came in and he changed that mentality in the front four completely. He was he gave a big boost to the players around him. While watching Manchester United matches, I was always noticing he was trying to pick the others up with him.
Yeah, and he gives them a rollicking. He's like that Roy Keane kind of character. Against Sevilla when they conceded the second goal, he gave it to Lindelof.
Lindelof. I saw Lindelof replied to him. I don't know what it was about. You would know about that.
But the thing is, the main point is he's captaincy material. He's that guy who will get his team together.
Exactly.
I think he has leadership qualities.
Ole needed that type of character in the dressing room,
100%.
Under Sir Alex, you always had the Keanes and the Ryan Giggs and the Paul Scholes, who had that capability of picking up a team and imposing that winning mentality onto them. So I think Bruno's impact is going to be huge in terms of that. And as you said, I completely agree with you. Bruno is going to be very impactful. And as a neutral, I would also like to add that I think we're going to see the best of Martial. There's still more to come from him.
Yeah, I was going to come on to that. Yeah, Martial is the second guy I'm looking forward to as well, 100%. I think this season we saw something he was called lazy, this and that, but we saw this season he puts in the effort, and his off the ball presence, especially after the lockdown, was very impressive. He was making those runs, he was getting Rashford into the play, he was getting Greenwood into the play, so it wasn't just the goal scoring. And then yes, he does have the finishing as well, and I think he will improve that as well as the next season approaches. So I think Martial will be another player to watch.
And after many questions for Mustafa.
Yeah, and I would agree with that, because I feel that Martial, if he's consistent, he's gonna be one of the best players in the league. He has that ability to lead Man U's attack, and he has a very good finish.
Yes.
And
One second,
he'd be a really Yeah, sure.
Just a
Go
small
ahead.
interruption. One of his qualities that I love the most is his hold-up play, his back to goal. He's improved that massively. I've seen that he holding off those players and all. So that is going to be a big factor. And after this, sorry, I interrupted you. Carry on.
Yo, I just wanted to say that if Martial gets going, it's gonna put United in a really good place.
And after coming back to you, I would like to ask. Now we know you have your De Bruyne, who was De Bruyne's, and your Sterlings, and your how would I say, Agueros. But who do you think is going to impact the club most in the upcoming season?
Impact the club most. Firstly I'd go with De Bruyne, but like I would like to see that transfer of Koulibaly come,
Exactly.
and then that's gonna really impact the club. And other than that, I think Ederson, because he's been a really crucial part of the team, and he's made insane saves, and he's kept us in many games.
He has made those insane saves, but I still see his shot stopping as a bit suspect. It's still not at the level you need to play at in that team. But credit to him, he kept the most clean sheets last season, and
yeah, but he's made few errors. He becomes too optimistic, and he's out of position sometimes, and we've seen that a couple of times. But
yeah.
I feel that if he has the right head, he's gonna be a differential for us.
So any question for him?
Yeah, I think Ederson, after, don't you think he suits the City style, like a super keeper type, like, when they're pressing high and stuff, he can clear up at the back. He might make mistakes, but like he does suit that style, right?
And playing the City way, we've seen he's good on the ball. He's comfortable. He doesn't get into a lot of pressure. He doesn't get pressed, and he has the ability to distribute. He has good distribution, and that really helps the momentum going.
Yeah, I just one last question.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, definitely. One last question about Aguero. How much did you miss him when he got injured, and do you think he can play the full season? Like, your thoughts on Aguero?
I feel that I really missed Aguero. Gabriel Jesus, he started off the season really well. He scored a lot of goals at the start, but I feel that he kept lacking after that. Aguero's a world class striker. He can finish really well, and he's one of the best in the league. I feel that
you don't get 180 goals by being a bad finisher. Credit to him, he's
exactly
currently top two at top three, rather say. So yeah,
for me, I need him back. I need Aguero to his full form. That's really crucial for me.
Yes. Now let's move on. Bhai, and after the question goes out to both of you. Now, any new signing or potential? Let's just add the potential new signings also you are excited about. Bhai, since
you're saying that we only have one signing,
I had to add the potential because of the one signing.
Yeah, that's why you're saying that.
Yes.
I mean Sancho. Like, I'm waiting. I don't know what the hell's happening. But some people are saying he's not coming. Some people are saying he's coming for sure. I think he will come, but it will take time. I think towards the end of the market. But I'm looking forward to his signing. And I think we need a defender, potentially a left back as well.
Potentially, you've been linked with Upamecano and Reguilon from Real.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think Upamecano was saying that he's happy, but. So I'm not sure if he's gonna come or not, but that would be a decent signing if they get him. In terms of left back, there's no interest with anybody, but I would go for somebody like Van Aanholt.
There has been interest for Reguilon today.
Oh yeah, Reguilon, yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen too much of him. Maybe you can tell me more about him. I haven't seen that much of him, but apart from that,
I'd say he's similar to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is very underrated by many people. Because
he doesn't play half the time. That's why
he doesn't play, and people mostly he has become what I say in football meme material. Just because of hitting issues and stuff, people have started underrating his ability just because he's put on a couple of pounds. But
he's improved on that as well. I think he's improved on his fitness as well. I think when he played this season, he was impressive.
Yes.
We won those games after the lockdown. We won when he played, so I'm not like too harsh on him. It's just that his fitness. Did you see Van Aanholt this season? He was very
Van
impressive.
Aanholt, Van Aanholt,
Very
sorry,
good.
excuse me, Van Aanholt.
Yeah.
At the age of 29 and turning 30 later this year, he'll be a really good addition, just to provide squad depth. You know, he's a class option as a second choice step back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think apart from that, like Sancho, and then like a left back, a centre back.
And your expectation for Van de Beek?
I think he's going to be a really good squad player. I think he plays that Bruno / Pogba kind of position. He's like more attack, but he is versatile. Like he can play defensively. He did that for Ajax as well. Sorry, you were saying something?
No. You just carry on. I'll ask you later. My next. Fully integrated.
Yeah. So I think attackingly, like he has a lot to offer. I think he's a perfect replacement for like Bruno coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it'd be interesting if they all three play. I want to see what happens. But
Especially
I think
against low blocks.
Yeah, but I think he's more of a squad player initially. I'm very excited about him actually. In that run with Ajax in the Champions League last season, the season to last, he had a very vital role to play.
No doubt about that.
I'm looking forward to seeing him. I don't expect him to be like the next big thing like all of a sudden, but I think he will slowly integrate, and I think he'll be a good player for United.
And agreed, totally agree. And coming to Aftab, similar question.
Yeah, well, for me,
excited about signings, new signings.
I feel that Ferran Torres, he has a lot of potential because he's young, and then he has a good passing range, and he's spacey, and he's really one player who really can build under Pep Guardiola, and he can really build under in City and that system. And we obviously signed Nathan Ake.
Do you expect him to mostly start on the bench next season, or do you expect him to be a nailed-on starter?
Yeah, I do because we have players like Riyad Mahrez and Bernardo Silva, starting his position. It's gonna be a competitive task for him, but I feel we're gonna see quite a few moments from him too, Ferran Torres, and coming to the defense, we were desperate this season, and we wanted defenders, and we signed Nathan Ake, and now potentially Koulibaly is linked to us, and then to give the depth, we have Nicholas Otamendi and John Stones, but
I'll come back to that, and you got.
But I really don't want
who can, in my opinion, even at the age of 29, he'll give you a solid 4 years, vastly experienced.
I feel his experience is very crucial for us in the Champions League, where we've been lacking
in the further stages of the tournament, in the higher stages.
Yes.
Let's say the knockout stages.
In the pressure situations basically, and he's not that he's at the peak of his career. He's experienced, he's strong, he's tall, he has a good passing range, and I want to see him play.
My only concern with the Koulibaly signing is him and Laporte, two left-footed centre backs. Haven't seen much. Not just in City, in any team where we've seen two left-footed centre backs play together. So that is going to be interesting to watch. And so that should be. And let's move on. Any other?
Yeah, coming to that. Well, I feel that we needed something to someone to fill in. I wanted to give an honorable mention to Fernandinho. Who's taken a very big responsibility last season, and he's showed up for us quite a few times. But I feel that even though there's that factor of having two left-foot players together, paired together, that I wouldn't think right now is a matter is something to be focused on. But we're just happy that we have a good option with us, which is going to help us in the Champions League.
Exactly, for sure. And coming now, just 3 players that you think have to leave your club. Just name 3 players, Mustafa, and same goes to Aftab. 3 players that you think don't have a future, and you would want them to see. You would want them to leave the club.
Lingard, Pereira, and Give me some options, man.
Sergio Romero.
No, I would look. The thing is, Romero and Mata.
How about
Dalo?
Maguire?
Diego
Huh?
Dalot.
I think Romero will leave. You
Will
can
leave?
put him in the.
But
Yeah, I
want
think he
him?
will leave. No, wanting maybe Mata. Like I like him. I think he's. I have nothing against Mata, but I think he's just getting older now.
I'm not even going to question you on Lingard and
Mustafa,
actually.
Mustafa, I have a question for you. What are your thoughts on Harry Maguire defensively? Why don't you want him to leave?
He's Harry Maguire. Look, the thing is, the
I
reason
didn't
why I
want to
don't
bring
want.
his name up in the podcast. I actually rate the guy. I didn't want him.
The reason I don't want him to leave is I think if we invest 80 million in a guy and then sell him for 20 million next season, I think it's.
You really rate him? You really think he's only going to go for 20 million, being English and playing for Gareth Southgate?
If he goes, he would not 20 million. I'm exaggerating, but he won't go for the 80 million price, right?
I think we should have a different podcast on the Harry Maguire situation coming.
But the thing is, I don't have a lot of people criticize him. His main issue is one-on-ones, when
Exactly.
he gets beaten for pace. That's his main issue. He needs to work on that. But apart from that, I think he had a decent season. He made mistakes and everything. But because he's English, because of the price tag, he's going to get criticized more. So I accept that.
You guys actually conceded 20 less goals than last season.
Yeah, so if I look at him just as a defender without the price tag, I think he's been a decent signing. But yes, he's not worth 80 million. That's why the criticism is valid. I can't defend that criticism, right? But apart from that, I think he'll come out stronger. I think what happened in Greece with him will make him mentally stronger as well. So I expect him to improve. But yeah, as Aftab said, I understand where he's coming from, but I can't expect him to go. I can't expect Maguire to go because we invested 80 million in him. Yeah.
So you just said Lingard, Pereira, and number 3, you said Mata, or would you go with Diogo Dalot?
No, I'll go with Mata. The thing with Dalot is I think he's a good option at right back. I think he's a good, if you look at a squad player as well, he did decently. I don't think he did anything which deserves him to leave. I think he's a good backup to Wan-Bissaka, and I think he should be given more opportunities. Going forward, he looks decent. So I think we should keep Dalot. But Mata is just that I think he's coming
aging and losing his legs.
Aging, and the pace is not there, and I think he'll slow down the game. Nothing against him. I find he was a great player, especially with Chelsea. Even with United, there's a lot of good moments. But at the same time, I think it's time to go.
So I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
I have one more question for Mustafa, if you don't mind.
No.
What are your thoughts on your choice of keeper next season?
That's an amazing question.
That was a question I wanted to ask at the end. Season. He stole the question away from me.
We can wait for it. We can wait for it.
I wanted to ask you in the wrap-up part of the question. Actually, it's a good question.
I know it's a brilliant question. I think, look, De Gea made some big errors this season, against Tottenham. There's a lot of errors against Everton as well. I just from the top of my head, I'm just picking out a couple. But I think at the same time, Dean Henderson getting him into Old Trafford straight away and giving him that number 1, I think it'll put a lot of pressure and it can backfire. If he makes mistakes, then everybody.
It can go either way. It could go either way. He could actually
it can go
huge success or it could backfire. Exactly.
I think it's a big risk because Sheffield, with all due respect, is not United, and the difference will be pressure. It won't be opposition. It'll be pressure, right? He's going into a better team, but at the same time, one error and the microscope is on him. So I think
Roy Keane is on him.
Sorry?
Roy Keane will be on him. That's
Roy Keane. Yeah, for sure. So I think initially, to answer Aftab's question, I think initially De Gea should start, and then slowly get Henderson into the game, integrate him into the team, play some cup games, get that feel of playing at Old Trafford, playing for United. I think that integration should happen. But yes, if De Gea makes some blunders, then in the first month itself, then you never know, he'll probably be replaced. But yeah, I think it should be De Gea as number 1 going into the season, and Dean Henderson slowly making his way into the team. I don't think it should be a sudden change.
After coming back to the previous question, who are the 3 players you want to see leave the club? You just want them to see them in a
I mean, many people wouldn't agree with me, but the first player I want let go is Gabriel Jesus because
Really?
Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's harsh.
Because
I rate him a
Jesus,
lot.
it's really harsh, but I feel that letting him go, gives room to new upcoming players, and I don't have anyone in mind yet, but I feel that it will really add value to you know he really have a a resale value which we can invest in
Reinvest.
potentially better players. And then coming to the second player, I think
Just
I'd
name them.
want Nicholas Otamendi.
Otamendi.
Nicholas
We know the
Otamendi,
reason
and
why you
then
want him out. You don't even need to elaborate on.
yeah,
And
yep. And the third place, I don't even know if I have a
maybe
third pick.
Zinchenko.
Zinchenko, it'll really be harsh if we let him go,
Keep him. You
but
could keep
I
him for
think
squad
he's not.
depth. You could keep him for squad depth.
Yeah, we could because
Yes.
that's gonna add like 3 players in that position.
I have a feeling Bernardo might leave. I see him leaving. I have a feeling Bernardo might leave because Pep is just he has a lot of belief in Foden, and that might reduce Bernardo's chances of playing. Because with this season, even Pep, even though his policy
I
of
still feel like
I don't see
Bernardo
him
this season.
dropping De Bruyne.
That's no chance though. But I feel this season I don't think Pep Guardiola is gonna go with Foden as the first choice, and he's still gonna stick to Bernardo or Riyad Mahrez in that case. But you never know with Pep Guardiola. You never know what's going on in his mind. You obviously
And
want to see Phil Foden.
what about Gundo?
You
Want him to stay? Gundo?
Gundogan has been inconsistent for us, but I really rate him because he has that work rate and he has this defensive capability. He really puts a lot of effort into the team, and I think
Exactly.
he has a scope that he'll have a better season this season. He'll
So
be more
just
consistent.
Jesus and Otamendi for you. Who you want them?
Yeah, Jesus and Otamendi for me.
And let's go to our penultimate question. Your preferred starting 11 and your predictions for the upcoming season. Let's start off with you, Mustafa.
Okay, so I think starting 11, De Gea in goal. Right back, Wan-Bissaka, then Maguire and Lindelof, unless we get someone like Upamecano. And then left, hopefully Luke Shaw is fit, otherwise a replacement. And then in the midfield, this is where it gets interesting. But I would start off with Matic, Pogba and Bruno.
Pogba, Bruno.
Yeah, and then Martial, Rashford, and Sancho. But if there's no Sancho, then Greenwood. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. And then you can get the likes of Van de Beek. And if we get Sancho, then Greenwood would be an excellent off the bench.
I think just don't think I'm biased or anything, but I think Greenwood should be the starter next season because that guy has got immense potential, and the more he plays, the better he's going to get. Because I have a feeling because of that initial run of games post lockdown that he got, he has dealt with that pressure that he had, all the spotlight on him, playing for a big team like United. I think he is ready to kick on now. So
I agree with you in a certain way, but also I saw a lot of him. I think he's still really young.
Yes.
If somebody like a Sancho comes in, I think that will improve his game. Because then there's competition. As a youngster, if you have all the limelight and everything at that age, there could be mistakes. And I saw a couple of teams double teaming as well. There was a couple of games in between where he was quiet. So I agree with you that he's amazing. He's a super. He has a potential to be a superstar. Very bright talent, but at the same time, I think somebody like a Sancho would improve his game and it would help him a lot. So that's why I would see him like
your
that.
Season predictions, table-wise and competitions, otherwise Champions League, League Cup, FA Cup. What would you want from your team?
I would want them to win the treble, but I don't think that will happen.
Realistic. I'd say realistic.
Realistically, I think I would be happy with top 4 and a trophy. I think that will show improvement because this season there was no trophy. So a trophy I think is necessary, whether it's the FA Cup, Carling Cup, Champions League will be the icing on the cake. But
how far do you see your team going in the Champions League?
I see them going realistically, or it depends on the
Realistically.
If we
Actually, it does depend on the run.
if you get like somebody like Bayern Munich in the round of 16, I see them not going through. If you get like an easier team, there's a semi-final possibility. Like last season with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just coming in, we reached the quarterfinals against Barcelona.
Yes.
So who expected them to
beat PSG?
Beat PSG like that. So I think Champions League, there's also a lot of luck involved, and it's hard to predict. But ideally, I think I would first want them to get out of the group stage, and then probably like a quarterfinal, like a semi-final. I think that would be good.
And coming to Aftab.
Well, my prediction, my expectation from the team first.
Your starting 11 first.
I think they're gonna take the Premier League first. They're gonna take the Premier League, and as a fan, I really want to see them win the Champions League. That's one thing I'm really hoping for this season.
But
and coming to
no offense to Osa bhai, that actually sounds realistic too with the squad they have. Can't deny it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So coming to starting 11, Ederson in goal, and then Walker at right back with Laporte, and for now Aki, and hopefully Koulibaly in the middle, and then Benj Mendy starting.
No Laporte.
And no, I mentioned Laporte. Laporte, and then for now I'm mentioning Aki because the deal with Koulibaly is not done yet. And when that happens, I obviously want him to start. And then on the left back, I want Benj Mendy to start. And here's where we get spoiled for choice, right? So I see Rodri starting, and with De Bruyne, and then I see Gundogan starting, and then I see Bernardo, Sterling, and Aguero up front.
Bernardo. Oh, you mean to say no Mahrez? Starting 11.
Mahrez is gonna come off the bench.
Season he's coming from.
That's again,
it's a bit debatable.
Again, you can keep. It's a bit, it's just like it depends on the current form of the two players. It can either be Mahrez, it can either be Bernardo. We'll see when how it goes.
For the Champions League, you'll need to sack Guardiola if you want to win the Champions League. but like one point I actually wanted to say, you mentioned the ambitions. I always think about it. City, yes, there's a lot of money involved. They have the Abu Dhabi owners, Arab money. But it's not like United is poor. They spend a lot of money as well, right? The main difference is after we'll tell you better, but the main difference is they have a director of football. The same guy who was in Barcelona with Guardiola. They have that
Cheeky Bergstein or something, right?
Yeah. They have this smooth system where, they identify the players they want, they have options, and then they land the player. They do have money, but so do United, right?
Yes.
They
spend it wisely.
Yeah, and people say when United come in, they jack up the price. When Sancho, if they're going for Sancho, they'll jack up the price. They do that for City as well, but the difference is there's a director of football. That system at the higher level is so smooth. I think
really well done.
Yeah, that's what makes City look pretty on the pitch. It's that system up there. That's what United is lacking. That's the main difference for me.
The relationship between the manager and the board,
full disclosure. Really I realized that too. I'm sorry.
And the smartest thing the owner did was that he didn't get Guardiola on his own. He got Guardiola and that team from Barcelona.
Yes, Dominic Torrent, and he had Arteta too, right? He got Arteta.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that is the main difference between City and United right now. Because yes, I understand that they have a lot of money. They probably have more money than any other club, City. But at the same time, United is not a poor club. They do have that money. It's just that where are they spending that cash?
It's just the difference comes down to City identify their targets and they work towards landing their target, and everyone is in agreement about the target, from the manager to the sporting director. But at Manchester, I've seen the transfer policy is very haphazard, I'd say. And
but look, they splashed 160 million on two fullbacks, City, right? That's a lot of money, and would have got criticized. But the thing is, it worked out.
They won the league.
Yeah, they identified the problem. Guardiola had a vision, and the vision was completed with those two fullbacks. So that's the difference. They're both going to splash money. The difference is that that top level management, and I think a director of football is extremely important for a club like Manchester United.
Exactly. Now, finally, I would like to play a game with you guys. Hopefully, you would.
Dan, one second. I just want to ask Mustafa by his
Please.
prediction of the table. What
How
who
about-
do you think will end up in the top 6?
How about we keep that for another episode?
Alright, sure.
We
Alright, sure.
all fans of the top 6 and do that. At some other.
Alright, sure. Alright.
All right.
I think
So-
it's going to be tough, but yeah.
It's actually going to be a very tough prediction, to be honest.
Yeah. it will-
Because
Yeah.
almost every team has strengthened, and everyone has a
Yeah.
good chance. So this is a small game that I came up with. I would like to play with you guys. So I'm going to ask each of you. I'm going to give you names of the opposing names of players, 6 players from the opposing team. I want you to come up with one word to describe them. Okay. So I'm going to start off with Mustafa Bhai. Now the first player that I'm going to ask you about is Aguero. What is your one word to describe?
Nightmare. I
Nice.
still remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nightmare?
Yeah,
Nightmare.
the reason behind that is QPR in 2000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why.
That-
From my position, it's a nightmare.
Nightmare.
From
And,
your position. Alright.
Yes.
I got it.
yes. And Foden,
Bright future.
bright future. That's actually 2 words, but I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't find a word,
Yes.
but yeah.
Laporte,
They missed him. Like, I don't know how to say that in one word. They missed him like when he was injured. Like,
integral. Let's say integral.
yeah, okay, very
Yes.
good.
And Ben Mendy. This is the one I've been waiting for.
Joker.
Joker. That's that.
I mean, like, not in a bad way. Like,
By the way, I'm
Yeah.
just talking about his on-pitch IQ. I'd say you're pretty accurate. Calling.
but I
sorry.
saw the City documentary. Like, he does mess around and he
Yes.
keeps
Yeah.
his team always laughing and everything.
Number 5 is going to be De Bruyne.
Baller, best player in the league.
Baller. And I'm going to go with an ex-player of Manchester City now. Just to ask you, Richard Dunn.
I don't know what to say, man. I thought you were going to ask me about.
Yeah.
You caught me off. I thought you were going to ask me about Sterling.
No,
But
no, no.
Richard Dunn.
Richard Dunn.
Richard Dunn, class.
Class. Class for the other team, not for you.
yeah.
And after I'm going to go with 6 players for you, 6 Manchester United players for you. Harry Maguire.
Right. Criminal.
Criminal. That was expected. Then I'm going to go with Rashford.
Golden boy.
Golden boy. Okay, that's a big prediction. I thought you would go for that with Mason Greenwood, but okay. And let's go with Bruno Fernandes.
Penalties.
Oh, he's rubbing. Brandon Williams.
I'm just saying whatever comes to my.
Brandon Williams.
Let's see. That's a hard one. Let's see. I'd go with the. How can I define this?
Youngster.
Sorry, can you help me?
Huh?
I already used that word. I already gave the golden boy logo to
Rashford.
Rashford. I think I'd go with the star boy.
Starboy. Okay, that's big praise for the footed left back.
Don't come to Greenwood now. I'm lost.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I think you've wasted a lot of words on the youngsters. I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
number 5.
Class.
Huh? I'm sorry. Beg your pardon.
Pogba, I'll go with I regard him world class.
World class. That's pretty accurate. And number 6, and this is to wrap up the podcast. It has been a great time with you guys. It's going to be Phil Jones. One word to describe Phil Jones.
Jones,
Train wreck.
Joker. Pathetic.
Train wreck. Pathetic. Sorry. That ended on a sad Mustafa Ismail. So thank you guys for tuning into this, coming onto this podcast. I had a wonderful time. This is the first one I've hosted.
Thanks for having me, bro.
You guys were class, absolute class.
The host was class as well.
Thank you.
Had a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
very well done.
And for the audience,
Very
that's
well
a
done,
wrap. Hopefully, you guys can come and watch the second episode too, whenever we release it. So thank you for tuning into the Double Pivot Podcast. Peace.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.